If there's any piece of advice that we can give you is to take action, go to estate.prep to save some money and prepare it to protect your family, your assets, and the things you love most. Don't let the government decide on what happens to your things.
Wow, that's informative. Sounds like a peace of mind for us when we're gone.
Well, you'll have peace of mind, when after we do a ceremony, I always ask, a lot of customers, they're not in too much into talking about their estate planning because it's a very private document. But most customers, after they do their signing ceremony, they always say, thank you. I feel like I got an 800-pound gorilla. At least I did my part for the kids. Now, what happens and what the kids decide when they grow up, that's on them. But there's not much that I can tell you other than that 95% of the people feel that they got a big relief of being able to accomplish that.
Yeah, that I can only feel that already. I know that it happened in my family years ago, and I really wish that there was something in place to protect.
Wow. So your family went through. So you have a story, right?
I do.
Wow.
I do.
What part of the country did your family?
So I was born in Ghana. I used to live.
Oh, okay.
I was born and raised in Ghana. I live in Mesa, Arizona right now, but I'm originally from Ghana, born and raised. So yeah,
well, that happens worldwide, right? I got family members in Mexico that had a tremendous effect. I mean, it took them 7 years to get their property from the government. I mean, in Mexico, it's about as straight as a $3 bill. But I mean, we come from a country that's really there. And they took them 7 years to settle their estate in that country. And they have what's called, in Spanish, it's called the last will and testament that they have, but they have to have it. And that needs to be notarized. Like, here's another thing. There's 3 things that the living trust has to have in the U.S. in order to be effective. 1, it needs to be signed in front of a notary. 2, it needs to be signed in front of 2 witnesses. And number 3, it needs to be funded. In other words, you got to put the assets names. For example, you got to put your house under the living trust. You got to put your bank accounts under the living trust. It's got to be funded. In other words, put the ownership of those assets into the living trust. And I always tell people, it's you own nothing, but you control everything. If you have a revocable trust, you can make changes, you can make updates, you can buy it, you can sell it, you can upgrade it, you can downsize it, you can do anything you want while you're still alive. It becomes irrevocable, in other words, unchangeable once you pass.
Right.
Which is, breathtaking in itself. That it's something that is amazing.
It is amazing. It is amazing. I am so educated right now. Oh my goodness.
Awesome. I want to just say, thank you. I know that but I would always tell people, just listen.